Have you ever stood at the bottom of your staircase and felt your knees hesitate, as if those few steps had suddenly turned into a mountain? I've seen that look hundreds of times in my patients' eyes. It isn't just fear of falling, it's the quiet panic that maybe your body is slipping away. That moment right there is when most people start believing they're too old to climb again, but they're wrong. What if I told you the struggle with stairs has less to do with weakness, and everything to do with memory, not the memory in your mind, but in your muscles? In 2023, researchers discovered that nearly 3 out of 4 adults over 60 lose their ability to climb, not because their legs fail, but because their brain forgets the movement pattern it once commanded effortlessly. The good news, memory can be retrained. Over the next few minutes, I'll show you the same 3 movements I use with my own patients, simple powerful exercises that wake the body up again. Because growing older isn't the problem, staying disconnected is. And once you reconnect the stairs, stop feeling like a wall and start becoming a path back to freedom. When a patient first tells me, "Doctor, I don't know what happened. One day the stairs just got harder," I see more than exhaustion, I see fear. The kind that creeps in quietly when your body starts doing something you can't explain. Most people think it's weakness. I used to think that too until I began studying how aging truly changes movement. What I found shocked me. After 60, the body doesn't simply lose muscle, it forgets coordination. Research from the Journal of Aging Research 2023 showed that roughly 73% of older adults struggle not because their legs are powerless, but because their brains have stopped sending clear messages to those muscles. It's like having a strong Wi-Fi signal, but a frozen screen the command never fully arrives. Every missed step is a signal dropout. Inside the thigh and hip are clusters of fibers called fast twitch muscles. They fire when we climb rises from a chair or catch ourselves from falling. Around 50, these fibers begin to shrink at about 1 to 2% per year, and after 60 the decline can reach 40% by age 70. That sounds grim, but here's the twist. Those fibers don't die, they go dormant, waiting for the next clear signal, and when you reactivate them, strength returns faster than you'd imagine. Think of it like a piano left untouched for years. The keys still play, they just need tuning. The first time you press them, the sound wobbles. After a few minutes, harmony returns. Your muscles work the same way. So if the problem isn't age itself what steals that connection, it's comfort. Long hours of sitting, smooth sidewalks, elevators, all teaching the body that it no longer needs to adapt. The nervous system responds by trimming away what it believes you don't use. It's efficient, but cruelly efficient. That's why walking every day doesn't always fix the problem. Walking is a single repetitive pattern, a flatline rhythm. Stairs demand a symphony power to lift control to lower and balance to stay centered. Miss one note and the whole movement falters. And here's the hopeful part that always lights up my patients' faces. The system can be rebooted. The human brain, even in its 70s and 80s, holds a remarkable trait called neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire. When you practice specific motions that challenge height, direction and tempo, your nervous system relearns to communicate with your legs again. The lost signal reconnects. The climb becomes effortless. Most people never hear that truth. They blame age genetics or bad knees, and they stop trying. But once you realize the real culprit is disconnection, not destruction, everything changes. And that's exactly where our journey begins, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to wake that connection up again, one gentle movement at a time. When I tell a patient that their body hasn't failed, it's simply forgotten something changes in their expression. The idea that you can teach your body again flips the story from decline to possibility. And the first step isn't power, it's communication. You have to wake the line between your brain and your legs before any real strength can return. That's why I never begin with heavy exercise. I start with what I call neuromuscular wake-ups, simple movements that turn the lights back on inside the nervous system. Think of them as rebooting a computer that's been asleep for years. Once that connection flickers back, everything else responds faster: balance, confidence, even circulation. The warm-up I teach lasts only 5 minutes, but it's where transformation begins. Stand tall beside a chair for balance and start marching gently in place. Don't rush. Feel your weight shift from side to side, let your arms swing freely and breathe. Most people expect this to feel trivial until they notice how unsteady they've become after just 30 seconds. That wobble isn't weakness, it's the nervous system relearning rhythm. After a minute, the hips loosen, the spine lengthens, and you can almost sense the signal reconnecting. From marching, I guide them into slow side steps. Step right then left, letting the body sway naturally. 10 steps each way is enough to remind the hips how to stabilize. Every shift retrains a tiny muscle called the gluteus medius, the one that keeps you from tipping sideways on stairs. Lose it, and even strong legs feel uncertain. Next come heel and toe taps. Place your heel lightly on a step or low stool, then alternate to your toes. 10 taps per foot. The goal isn't stretch, it's awareness. Each touch updates the brain's map of where your feet are in space. In physical therapy, we call it proprioception. To you, it simply means the difference between catching yourself and missing the rail. Here's the mini hook that keeps people listening after 5 minutes of this warm-up. I have them climb one single step. 90% are shocked it already feels easier, because once communication is restored, strength follows naturally. But warm-ups alone won't rewrite years of disconnection. The next phase is where real rebuilding begins. I call it the tri-pattern protocol. 3 targeted movements that retrain your body's missing codes: power to rise, balance to stabilize, and control to descend. Together they rebuild the full stair climb pattern your brain once ran effortlessly. Before we dive in, let's set the right expectation. These aren't workouts, they're signals. Each repetition is a message telling your body, remember this. Use this again. Do them daily and the nervous system doesn't just remember, it rewires. Let's start with the first pattern, the slow sit to stand. I ask patients to sit near the edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat and shoulder width apart. Pull the feet slightly back until the knees hover above the toes. Now, without using the arms, lean forward just enough to feel your weight in your heels. Press down and rise slowly, then lower yourself back down slower than you think, keeping control all the way to the seat. 10 repetitions. It sounds simple, but this one movement trains the 2 powerhouses of stair climbing, the quadriceps and glutes. During the rise, they contract concentrically, lifting you. During the slow descent, they engage eccentrically, controlling you. Most people lose that second half after 60. They drop instead of descend, reclaim it, and suddenly every staircase feels half as tall. If you struggle at first, use your hands lightly on the seat for support. Each day reduce that help until your legs do all the work. Within a week you'll feel the difference. Less strain in the knees, more drive from the hips. It's not magic, it's mechanics reawakened. Mini hook. When patients master this, they always ask what's next. And that's when I introduce the movement that changes balance forever. It's called the lateral step up. Stand beside a step 4 to 6 inches high, a sturdy stool, or bottom stair works fine. Place your right foot fully on the step, keeping it flat. Press through the outer heel and lift your body until both feet meet on top. Then step back down with control. Repeat 10 times per leg. This side-to-side motion targets the gluteus medius, again that small but mighty stabilizer at your outer hip. According to a 2021 study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, strengthening this muscle reduced fall risk by 43% in adults over 65. But beyond numbers, the change is tangible. Patients describe it as suddenly feeling grounded, like the floor stopped shifting under them. As you step, imagine your body forming a column from ear to ankle. Keep your spine, tall eyes forward. If you need balance, hold a wall, or railing stability, first confidence, second. After 2 weeks of daily step-ups, even simple tasks like stepping off a curb feel steadier. Mini hook. But there's one more secret that even physical therapists often overlook. It's not about how you go up, it's about how you come down. That brings us to the final pattern, the eccentric step down. Start with both feet on a step facing forward, shift your weight onto one leg, and slowly lower the opposite foot toward the ground until it barely touches, then return to the top. Do 10 per leg. The key word is slowly. You're training the braking system of your body, the quads, glutes, and hip stabilizers that absorb shock every time you descend. A 2022 paper in the European Journal of Physical Rehabilitation Medicine found that eccentric step-downs improved stair performance and knee pain in older adults within 6 weeks. The reason is simple: by strengthening while lengthening, you teach your joints to handle gravity gracefully instead of fighting it. Most people fear that downward motion because that's when pain or instability strikes. But when you train it deliberately, fear fades. I've watched patients who once avoided stairs descend with calm, almost elegance. It's like watching confidence return in real time. Now here's something subtle yet powerful. Combining these 3 movements, sit to stand, lateral step up, and eccentric step down, creates what neuroscientists call multiplanar activation. You're not just building muscle, you're syncing multiple movement planes, vertical, lateral, and downward, so the brain restores a full 3D map of motion. Once that happens, mobility improves across everything: walking, getting out of cars, even standing from the couch. Mini hook, and this is where the story turns personal, because I've seen it transform lives faster than any prescription ever could. Take Margaret, 79, who hadn't climbed her home staircase in nearly 3 years. Within 2 weeks of this routine, she was moving freely again. No braces, no fear. What changed wasn't her muscles alone. It was her trust in those muscles. Once you feel that first solid step beneath you, your mind stops bracing for disaster and starts planning for life again. That's the quiet victory I see every day. People trading hesitation for momentum. And it all begins with reteaching the body what it already knew. Because strength without confidence is like having a car without fuel. It looks capable, but goes nowhere. These movements supply both physical power and the neurological spark that tells your brain you're safe. You can move. And that realization leads directly to the final shift, the one that changes not only how you climb stairs, but how you see aging itself. When people ask me what truly changes after 60, I tell them it isn't the body, it's the conversation you have with it. Most of us grow up thinking strength lives only in the muscle. But after decades of working with older adults, I've learned that real strength starts in the mind, the quiet decision to keep engaging, to keep listening to what your body is saying instead of what fear is whispering. I often tell my patients that every step is a dialogue. The muscles speak through effort, the nerves translate through balance, the brain listens and adjusts. When that conversation flows, movement feels effortless. When it breaks down, the body hesitates, and hesitation more than weakness is what ages us. That's why these 3 movements work so well. They reopen the dialogue. They don't just build muscle, they rebuild trust. You see, confidence isn't built in the gym. It's built in the moments between steps when you test the floor, realize you're steady and take another without thinking twice. That's the moment I live for as a doctor, when a patient climbs their first full flight of stairs and laughs, not from pride, but from surprise. Surprise that their body still remembers joy. Science supports what I see every day. Harvard researchers found that consistent neuromuscular retraining, just 10 minutes a day, can improve leg power by up to 34% within a month. More importantly, it changes how the brain perceives effort. Movements that once triggered anxiety begin to feel automatic again. The body stops guarding itself and energy returns to where it belongs: forward motion. Still, progress isn't only physical. Something deeper happens when people rediscover movement. Their posture lifts, their voice gains strength, their world expands again. The stairs that once symbolized decline become a daily reminder of control reclaimed, and that sense of control spills into everything: how they walk into a room, how they plan their days, even how they dream about the future. There's one final habit I encourage at this stage, and it's less about exercise than awareness. Each morning, before getting out of bed, flex your feet up and down 5 times. It's simple, but it primes circulation and wakes the neural pathways to your legs before your weight ever hits the floor. I call it the morning ignition. That tiny ritual tells your body, today we move with intention, and intention multiplied over days and months becomes resilience. Now here's a truth most fitness programs forget. Your body never stops learning. Neuroplasticity doesn't have an expiration date. Whether you're 60 or 90, if you give the body the right signals, it adapts. It builds new pathways, new confidence, and yes, new muscle. The trick is consistency, not intensity. You don't need hours in a gym. You need minutes of mindful repetition day after day until your body's language becomes fluent again. When I think about aging, I don't picture decline. I picture a long conversation that's worth continuing. Every rep, every breath, every step is your body saying, I'm still here. I'm still listening. And when you answer that call with movement, something remarkable happens. Aging stops feeling like loss and starts feeling like dialogue. That's the real secret behind longevity. It's not youth preserved, but connection maintained. Because once you restore connection, strength follows. And once strength returns, independence isn't a dream, it's a habit. And that habit doesn't just change how you move, it changes how you live, leading us straight into what I want you to remember most. So if you take anything from today, let it be this: your body isn't aging against you, it's waiting for you to rejoin the conversation. The stairs that once felt like obstacles can become proof of what your body still remembers. Strength, rhythm, and trust. Every small session, every mindful repetition is your way of saying, I'm not done yet. And your body listens. Remember, consistency beats intensity. 5 mindful minutes each day can transform more than your legs. It can restore your confidence, your independence, and your freedom to move through life on your own terms. Be patient with yourself. Healing isn't about perfection, it's about participation. If this message resonates with you, save this video. Come back to it when you need a reminder that progress is always possible. And if you'd like more science-backed ways to protect your strength, balance, and heart as you age, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. I post new medical insights and practical routines every week, designed for adults over 60 who want to live stronger, longer, and freer. Now I want to hear from you. What part of your body are you ready to reconnect with first? Tell me in the comments, and let's start rebuilding together.